Are the ragtag mutants of the Hellions ready to make their final stand? Will they go down swinging, or will their light be snuffed out before any of them can do anything about it? Well, let's hop into the pages of Hellions issue number 17, the penultimate issue of this Zeb Wells series, and find out together, shall we? So then, picking up from where the last issue left off, everyone on the Hellions team hated each other, and it looks like they're all going their separate ways. Kwanon especially wants to leave Krakoa completely, abandoning her position as war captain, feeling great shame for what she had done. However, being an X-Men is a lot like being in the Mafia, and just when you think they're out, they pull you back in. You see, the Stepford Cuckoos relay word about the Right taking over Nanny's ship and kidnapping the secret robot baby that she wasn't supposed to have. Now, an attack on Krakoan soil and one of their own has to be answered for, but believe it or not, things end up going from bad to worse when we realize Peter the Orphan-Maker is already in Arizona taking the fight to the Right. Remember, this guy still has the messed up brain of a child, and he figures if he can save his robot brother from the Right, then clearly Nanny will have to take him back and love him again, and so he's gone on a rampage that would make Sterling Archer proud. This also means the rest of the mutants are in a rather uncomfortable position right now. Do they go in and save one of their own, even though doing battle with an anti-mutant hate group in the open on American soil could very well lead to an international incident? Luckily, most of the members of the Right are already wanted criminals and murderers in their own right, so Emma Frost and the other bigwigs on the council should have no problem spinning it. And after all, the Hellions were supposed to be a secretive strike team with plausible deniability, so it looks like they're all getting back together and going on one final job. Havoc gives a heartfelt apology to Psylocke, saying that he had no idea what Mr. Sinister was holding over her head. And in a very sweet scene, Kwanon actually ends up forgiving him, figuring that she was so worried about her own hurt and her own heartbreak, she never stopped to wonder how other people were feeling. Nanny and Greycrow are also quick to join this last crusade as well, figuring that, hey, they've always hated each other, have always tried to kill each other, and have almost died on every mission they've gone on, so why mess with success, right? Even Wildchild gets to come along too. In fact, the only person the Hellions put their foot down and say can't come at all is Empath, because, well, was he ever really one of them, or was he just a stooge for Emma? Now, if the Hellions want to rescue ORPHAN-MAKER and defeat the Right, they're going to have to make their way past the Right's anti-mutant special ops team. We've actually seen these guys talked up for the last several issues as this elite, unstoppable Black Ops mutant killing team, but when we actually get to see them for more than a few minutes, yeah, it turns out they're total jokes. They talk this big game, but they can't actually back any of it up. In fact, it's made even more hilarious by the fact that these guys are systematically taken apart and butchered by the Hellions, a group of total losers by X-Men standards. And no, the irony isn't lost on me at all that this is the only time the Hellions have ever actually decisively managed to win a fight in this entire series without help. Now, while the main team cleans up any and all resistance on the outside, ORPHAN-MAKER has already fought his way inside the Right's inner sanctum. The main evil scientist running the show, the guy we found out was actually Nanny's ex in the previous issue, reveals himself to be a totally spineless coward, giving up Mew Mew the robot baby to save his own skin. ORPHAN-MAKER is overjoyed, feeling that this is finally the thing that's going to get him back in Nanny's good graces. Unfortunately, she once again could care less. Here's the ultimate twist of cruel irony, though. You see, Mew Mew the mutant AI was always a creation of the Right, and because of that was designed from birth to hate all of mutant kind. Now that it's finally come online, it decides to murder Nanny and explode itself. Needless to say, ORPHAN-MAKER does not take this well and decides to scorch earth the rest of the Right and its scientists. And it's right here at the end that things start to get really interesting. All this gunfire and commotion has alerted the local Arizona authorities, who seemingly had a live and let live approach with an anti-mutant hate group setting up a fortress in their own backyard. But now that actual dirty mutants are on their patch, they decide to finally get involved. Unfortunately, they come face to face with a rampaging ORPHAN-MAKER who kills them, meaning that he just broke the most important known kill no man law of Krakoa, and despite the Hellions' best efforts, they may very well have blundered directly into an international incident anyway as the comic ends. And so that was Hellions issue number 17, everybody, and I gotta say, even right at the end, Zeb Wells and this book are positively swinging for the fences. It's just such a beautiful combination of dark comedy, brutal violence, and actual real pathos. I always thought the finale for this series and this team would ultimately be defeating Mr. Sinister, but now that that's not the case, though, we actually zero in on a finale that might be more interesting. And that is, how will the rest of Krakoa choose to act once the Hellions get themselves into such high-profile trouble? They were always meant to be an expendable team of people they could blame for anything that went wrong. And now that ORPHAN-MAKER has broken such a sacred Krakoan rule, will they be willing to help him out, or will they let him fry? Again, it's made even more tragic when you remember this guy has the brain of a child. Overall, I'd give this one a very solid 8.5 out of 10, and I think this series will ultimately go down as one of the finest things coming out of the Hickman era of X-Men, which is certainly saying something. Hey there everyone, it's your pal Cape Joel again, and if you're seeing my face right now, that means you watched to the end of the video, and I'll always be grateful for that. Retention helps in this crazy YouTube game, and so does becoming a patron. If you head on down to the description, you can find a link to my Patreon page. Recently just redid all the tiers, a lot of cool stuff offering up there, exclusive commentaries, exclusive polls, behind the scenes concept art for Capes and Quest. That's the brand new D&D show I've started soon. Never been a better time to become a patron. You can become a patron for as little as $1 a month and help the channel grow, and help me continue to deliver content like what you just saw. So I want to thank you all, and I will see you again next time. Bye bye.